You guys better hurry up. I just got a notification. Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Hump Day Happy Hour is live. What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything adventure radio and all the Zulus that you can handle.
Right.
It is Hump Day. Time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. I'm excited to be here once again because that means I'm midway through the week. I don't know why I want to be midway through the week because I probably like the beginning of the week better anymore. But anyway, that's beside the point. Everybody else is excited for it to be midday, including these guys right here. They are the Patreons. It's about time for somebody new to join them because Dan needs to work hard and replace the music, I think. So if you guys want to make Dan work, somebody join Patreon tonight. Also, a big shout out to the YouTube members. And if you want to make yourself work, join the Rover and become a Rover. You ain't got to actually be a Rover to become one. And in the ever-changing board, Stephen, Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Delta Victor, back on the board, up in the 6th place. And Kilo Oscar 4, November Lava, moving it up to a tie in 10th place. Ever-changing board, I tell you. That top 5 is hard to break, though, boy, I'll tell you what.
That's right. That's right. Hey, look, I got the background right. It's Wednesday. It is Hump Day. I did it right 2 streams in a row.
2 streams in a row. That's pretty good.
You know. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day, Happy Hour. Andy Cowley was first, as always. Good to see you, buddy. Kilo. There's 3 Zulus in the chat, so we'll get to you. I know you only see 2 if you're scrolling, but there's going to be an honorary Zulu, so just stand by 1 second. Kilo Oscar 4, Golf, Bravo. Welcome to Mo. What's happening, buddy? Kelly, good to see you. KI4JAV. Rod, always good to see you. K4 DSX, Georgia Parks and Propagation. That is Ron Chris, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar. Go check out his channel there if you haven't already. Terry, good to see you. Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. Here's one of the Zulus. Ronnie, Kilo Oscar 4, Zulu, Romeo X-Ray. R effing around is in the house. He joined Patreon like 4 hours ago, and I'm slacking. No, it's not me. It's not me slacking. What's up, buddy?
I'm fact checking that right now. I'm gonna Facebook fact check that.
That's right. Our second Zulu right here, our antenna guru, Kilo Oscar 4 Fox Sierra Zulu, is in the house. Brother Dan, one Dan to another. Always good to see you. Natin. Larry, thank you so much for the cues yesterday. And good to see you as well. Mike, Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time. Kilo 4 Lima, India is in the house. And here is the final Zulu. It's Whiskey 8 Echo Romeo Romeo because her name is Lima India Zulu. Liz, good to see you. Mike, 88 KB, Kilo Oscar 4 November, Lova, Smoking POTA. Kenny Adams, good to see you, buddy. KC5MJE. Frequency Frontiers, KY4GM, good to see you. And November 4, Bravo Delta Whiskey Brent. Always good to have you around. Drive safe on your way home. Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. That is right. And I'm still fact checking this because I'm not seeing notification. But I'm sending it off to Dr. Phil right now. And we're gonna get an answer really quick. Let's see here.
And the survey says, ding. We've had an interesting week so far. I got a look.
Okay, I see why I did not get a notification. He did sign up for a free trial.
Oh,
okay,
very nice.
So,
yeah,
so
free trials are weird. They don't send notifications for some reason.
Yeah, they don't know. That's why I always say if you sign up for the free trial, that's great. But email me or Dan or message me or Dan because we can't get you no benefits if we don't sign you up.
That's right.
But
I just pulled the trigger for you there, James, on Discord. So sorry, my bad.
He says, "Free. Let me look at my credit card statement." Listen, what happens in airplanes stays in airplanes.
That's right.
But, I do not have a Delta Patreon tier. You did at least ride first place on the leaderboard for like 2 streams, and that is a record this year. 2 streams.
That is impressive. Curtis, good to see you, man. Welcome aboard this happy and fabulous Wednesday Hump Day. Roger. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Oh Lord. Anyway, what's going on, Dan?
Man, not a lot. I've done a couple of shack upgrades the last couple days. This is on our topic of getting your shack ready for the upcoming months. Maybe you have some upgrades planned, getting your gear ready for POTA or whatever other types of activities you like to do. So hopefully I'll put something out here soon and make my my upgrade public. If you are a member of our Discord, you probably already know because I have posted pictures. Another shameless plug to join our Discord.
Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, Rod, and congratulations to Toby for her eagle. And he's going back to late shift, so if you guys have a radio near you, go hunt Rod as well. But make sure and stay watching the stream while you're doing it. So I'll tell you what's been new with me, and this might be new with you if you ever need to do something with your Coors account or something like that, because I don't know what happened, but their passwords are really stupid. It's got to be like 12 letters long and blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't remember it. And I kept trying online to change my password. And it about 4 days later, after calling people and doing everything in the world, I finally got a hold of somebody. And then I got my password changed temporarily, which let me go in and make a new password, which is really weird now, but at least I will remember it. But I was able to purchase my GMRS license. So I now have a GMRS license.
I got mine not too long ago, believe it or not. And I think, I just got done because we were talking about this, I don't know, a while back. That it might be a good idea for people just to print out copies of their license and just stick one in your radio box or stick one in your Gigaparts. Mm-hmm. So I printed out a lot of copies of my license. I only have 2. I have my ham radio license, and on the same piece of paper on the back, I printed my GMRS license.
You were technically supposed to have a copy of your license anytime with you when you were on your radio.
That is very true.
So yeah, it's kind of like a driver's license, guys. The officer might be nice and not give you a ticket, but he can if he wants to. Same thing with if somebody asks you for your radio license. If anyway, if they're at the FCC, you can be in trouble.
Yeah.
What an FCC guy's doing at a wildlife management area, I don't know. He's probably not going to approach me because he's probably burying a body. But that's beside the point.
Larry has a good point. You can print and laminate, because on the official one, there's a little cutoff one down here that you can cut, and you can sign it and laminate it and fold it. Now, I am back from the old school of ham radio, because back in the 90s, when I first got my ticket, they actually mailed you a nice frameable and cuttable on not pretty good card stock and good looking licenses. The ones you can get now are stamped with official copy.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this is another thing bad about being an old ham. So yeah, I had a Cords account that I didn't have a password to, but once I got into it, guess what I had to do? I had to associate my FRN number with it, because I'm an older ham than these newer guys. See, when I got my license, you did not have to have your FRN number.
Same here.
They assigned you your FRN number when you got your license.
Exactly. Yep.
So my FRN was never assigned to my Coors account. So I had to go do that process too and assign my FRN to it. But now you have to have your FRN just to test. You didn't used to have to do that.
I went to renew mine, and it said I couldn't. Apparently, you have to wait till it's like 90 days out or whatever. But mine expires next April. Matter of fact, got to renew it. I think you can't do it earlier than, I want to say 90 days, but I can't remember the exact. But I was too early to renew; they wouldn't let me.
But anyway, with that said, I actually have a GMRS license now, and I can actually do a review on the radio that I received in the mail, a review on. So that's a good thing. But other than that, that was a headache. But another cool thing that I know we got a topic tonight, but I wanted to show you guys this. This is something that our buddy Kyle, aka Mom, posted. And I know we got a lot of newer CW people in here. This might be something you guys would be interested in. It is a slow speed open for CW. You actually, the slower you can go, you get more bonus points. So if you go 20 words per minute or less, you get ×1. 15 words per minute or less, you get ×2. 10 words per less, you get ×3. You also get bonus points for actually getting K1 USN, which is the club that's doing this event. But anyway, I'm going to put this link in the chat in case anybody wants to check it out. It's this Friday. It is from 20:00 UTC to 23:59 UTC. So it's only 4 hours. You do got to download something on here, and it tells you more about it right there. Right there, I didn't click to download myself yet, but because I don't know if I'm doing it or not. But I will put this link in the chat in case anybody wants to do it. I would tell Steven he should do it, but Steven don't know how to go below 30 words a minute anymore. So,
yes, he does. Believe you me, because I got him the other day. I called him at 35 and he answered me, and I turned my keyer down to 5 words a minute. I answered him. I imagine everybody else in the pileup was rather livid at me, but I thought it was hilarious.
I slowed way down for some guy. I was really proud of the guy. He was doing a POTA CW activation, and he was spotted on POTA.
That's right.
It probably will be. October will probably be the month of ham radio shenanigans for sure. There's probably going to be quite a few shenanigans. I know it's already started for me. I don't know if Brian's done with his umpire season or whatever, but he's been hunting me a lot more lately. and he's been getting 5.9 truffle butters every time he calls me already. So, and it's never stopped with Tom. Tom is forever known as Victor Echo 3 Tango Hotel Radio Stroke Alpha. Oh, October's going to be a good month.
I think it is, man. I think it is. I've noticed the lower bands of starting to open up more at night, and I'm actually hearing quite a bit of activity on 80 meters, and it's just I think it's just going to get better.
That's kind of what our topics is tonight. Getting your POTA station and your shack station ready for fall and winter. Because fall and winter ain't just about cold weather. It's different propagation. So the closer it gets to winter, the earlier it gets dark, and the earlier 40 meters decides to take a crap on you. 40 meters on the East Coast is the magic band. I mean, it typically, you can, people say it all the time, oh man, there's nobody even spotted on 40. Nobody can work 40, nobody spotted. And then I go out and I get a big activation. And they're like, you're the only one spotted. October does mean deer season, which means deer jerky.
But let me expand on that after I cough. October does mean deer season, Eddie, but check this out, bro. Bring your deer stand, climb up into a tree, get you climbing stand, get up into a tree 40 feet or so, drop you a random wire down, bring your KX2 with you with earphones. You can run a CW activation and deer hunt at the same time.
I've thought about it. I really have thought about this.
Yeah.
That's been something that's been on my mind. So that's pretty funny that you said it.
That would be great.
But with 40 meters, it in the winter, and it's normally winter. It's not normally fall, but normally winter. It starts dying when the sun does, and that's 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you got to start preparing yourself for, hey, how do I hunt the later bands? Well, it's easy. Get yourself a 60 and 80 meter antenna, because I promise you, I will burn 60 meters and 80 meters alive in the winter.
Yep.
It probably won't be till late November, December when I got to do it, but I've already started a little bit. There's been a couple of nights I went out and did my old 3 bands, 2 modes things, and people's making tons of contacts when I do that. So, get yourself a good 60 and 80 meter antenna and get ready for the guy on 60 meters to say, you're not allowed to POTA on 60 meters. It says in the POTA rules you can POTA anywhere but 60 meters.
Right. There will be that guy. Didn't you meet that guy in Orlando? Off topic, but I think maybe some other guy.
It was some other guy talking crap about 60 meters. I don't think it was him, but
yeah.
I'm like, come on. Another thing to get ready for fall and winter is, how good do you hit Canada? Do you want to stay in the PZN challenge?
That's
you
right.
better be starting to see if you can hit that Ontario area, because guess what? That's where the PZN's going to be activating all in October. So you may want to make some corrections if you can't.
On 80 meter ham sticks too. So
no, not on 80 meter ham sticks. So here's the thing. James is known for his ham sticks. I cannot control what James does on his ropes. Okay. So if he takes me out on a 50 park rove and uses ham sticks, as long as we're making 14 contacts, I'm down with that. Well, 12 contacts, not 14. But on a normal activation and he goes pulling out a ham stick, I'm going to pull out an end fed.
There you
go. I'm not taking much radio gear, but I will take an end fed just to make sure I'm prepared for his shenanigans, as he calls them. But I also know that he has an Eagle One that he says he cannot get working.
He was supposed to.
I'm going to go up there and probably put more contacts on that Eagle One than he has since he's owned it. So
he was supposed to bring the Eagle One here when he stayed here for a couple days, but he forgot it. I was sad because I wanted to see if I can get it working.
Yeah, I'll definitely get it working. That's for sure.
Ronnie, Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu Romeo X-ray said he's about to get one of them Redodo batteries. You can't beat them for the price. You know what? That's right. They're good batteries.
Let's hope. Let's hope I get it working. Is that what you're hoping? You're going to have to message me and tell me what's not working on it.
Well, Terry said he cracked his old Eagle One today.
Well, yeah. That ain't good, Terry.
Yeah, we will. I'm sure you can get it working for you. So, I mean, it's not a complex piece of machinery.
I often wonder that how there's 37 viewers currently and 16 likes, because there's only 16 of you that have enough sense to hit the like button. Evidently, it's not painful whatsoever. Won't tune on any band with any configuration that works with other Eagle Ones.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What kind of tuner are you using?
I don't know, but
guitar tuners do not work on ham radio antennas.
While he's typing out that answer, I'm going to put James on the spot here, and I'm going to tell you what he's going to do for everybody. If you work him at every park in Canada that he visits,
here we go.
If you work James at every single park in Canada that he goes to, he'll give you an honorable mention in a live stream.
An honorable mention. I will send you a whole pack of DX engineering stickers, guys.
Coveted, the very rare ones too. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, I'm working on something for not every park, because that's going to be really, really hard, because that's going to be a lot of parks. I can tell you that. I'm really hoping that James has been like force feeding Brian and Tom their Geritol, because I'm wanting to do a whole lot of parks, and James has to work during the week, so them guys are going to be babysitting a lot.
Well, he just said your projection is probably about 150 parks.
150, okay, I can take that.
So that'll be 150 new to you ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can definitely take that. He's taking 10 days off.
Yep.
Next week. What's month. Next week going to do anything?
Next month.
Oh, next month. Okay. I was like, next week ain't going to do me no good. He's like, I'm going up here.
This is what I want. All right, James of the North. I need a video of West by God, King James, riding around in this smart car. Please do that and send it to me directly so I can edit it at will. I need this.
Man, we don't want to do the compromise video challenge, okay?
I will make a whole new shenanigans intro.
Because I happen to have some good footage of you.
You do.
Hey, I don't care if there's footage of me going around. Listen, if you will make an Eagle One mount for the smart car, I will do a smart car road. Big, like I'll tear up heck drive with a smart car.
You can back the camera up too, and you can stand a little bit away from it and get the perspective just right, and hold like a little Xbox controller, and it'll look like you're controlling the car.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Just have him in there driving around in circles, and you're sitting there controlling it.
Anyway, we do have a topic, and we'll touch some more on it. So for me, fall means the fall's my favorite time of the year. It doesn't really mean nothing, but you do got to start thinking about stuff like throwing a jacket with you when you're going out. For me, it means taking a pair of pants with me in the car, because I know I'll be out right now and it'll be 75, 80 degrees all day long. And then I go to do that early late shift, and by early late shift, it's hitting 45 degrees, and that's a little cold in a pair of shorts when it's been 75 that day. So you got to think about stuff like that. You got to think about clothing. You got to think about anything to do with hunting season. If you're in a wildlife management area, you got to think you better have some orange on for one. And some wildlife management areas do not want you in there at all during hunting season. So you might want to check your local laws and stuff like that as far as that goes. I don't have that problem here in West Virginia because we're all rednecks and we just hunt. We're everywhere anyway. So listen, growing up, I didn't know there was such thing as a wildlife management area. We just pulled off on the side of the road, going down the road anywhere we wanted, and walked up the mountain. You can't very well do that right now, but so that's right.
And I realize, all right, so if you're not a hunter, I know it might sound silly to you, but yes, if you go to a WMA during hunting season to activate that park, please wear the orange. You don't want to end up accidentally getting shot. I mean, I'm being dead serious. So.
And right there, there is a nice orange H-Rag hoodie that you can get. I agree with you, Ron. That thing. Did you laugh because I called him Ron?
Yeah.
I call him Ron all the time now. I can't stop it now. You ruined him for.
Kelly, hey, pack the hot hands. Eddie saved my life. Eddie saved my life with a pair of those little shaking things that you.
Absolutely. If you're going to be doing CW, especially in the winter, hot hands, hot hands, hot hands, and it's still brutal. I like the gloves that they're hunting gloves is what they are, and they're fingerless, but they have the mitten part that comes over and velcros, and you can actually pull your finger out. Now the problem is you're going to have to cut out your thumb. That's the problem with those. I can't find any gloves that I actually like the feel of on the paddle itself. It feels off to me.
XNS Brian wears a battery-powered heater vest.
Okay.
That doesn't sound very Canadian, eh?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you never know. I'm liable to get up to Canada, and he says it's not going to be cold, and I'm liable to have me a bio lino stuck in my ear and just frying every part of me. It's hard to tell. You gotta watch them. They're good for trickery up there. Oh, it's not going to be cold, and it's 40 below zero.
But one of the good things, I mean, all right, so you touched on fall being your favorite time of the year. It is mine too, because it starts to get less of the blistering hot down here. Starts to get more comfortable weather, and it's a great time if you've been putting off any projects you need to outside, like antenna related. It's a good time to get started on them because you're not going to be out for a half an hour in the blistering heat and lose 20 pounds worth of sweat. It'll be comfortable to be out there working in.
Fall is an absolute great time to that, and it's also a great time to start winterizing those antennas. Make sure all your connections are good and covered, and that ain't going to get soaked. Because I know here in West Virginia, snow's magical. You might have a little tiny thin wire, but I swear to God, it'll hold 6 foot of snow on top of it. All of a sudden, it's like magic. It's like how's that snow standing there? It's crazy stuff. And another thing that'll stick on them is ice.
Yes.
And I can tell you a West Virginia redneck way how to get ice off of your antennas, but I have never done it. but I'm not going to swear you won't shoot your antenna in two. But you get you a BB gun and you shoot the ice, and it normally just shatters off. You shoot what you do is you shoot the ice that's hanging below the antenna, not directly at the antenna.
I didn't think you were going to say BB gun. I thought you were going to say like 12 gauge with birdshot.
No, you take a 12 gauge and you're going to saw it off in two. Another thing I like.
Then you can make a link dipole.
I like a good buddy heater when I go activate. So if you got your buddy heater already, which I think I got to get a new one because I think mine kicked the bucket last year, but it's had several years in it. Make sure and start stocking up on those propane tanks and stuff like that. And you might want to do that now because it's getting closer to November, and you've also got preppers stocking up on stuff like that because the election's coming up. And we're not here to talk about that, but you know, you got to start thinking about stuff like that too. They're going to be stocking up on stuff as well. So, you know, if you got your buddy heater, which I would suggest that they work amazing. I've set out in some really cold weather with just a buddy heater just blowing on me, and it does a really good job.
All right. So for years and years, I've always said that the best time, and this is the time that I buy my winter stuff, the best time to buy your winter clothes, the best time to buy heaters or anything like that is in the dead of summer.
Mm-hmm.
August. Buy your winter stuff, because if you wait towards coming to winter, the prices are going to go up.
Oh yeah.
That's just what retailers do, price and demand kind of thing. So I bought many a winter coats in the middle of summer.
Dan, do you take any of yours connections apart on your antennas and stuff and put any dielectric on or anything for winter? Or
Nope. I do not. The ones that are permanently out there, they the threads have dielectric grease, which acts as a water protectant there. There's a layer of electrical tape around the connector, then a layer of the gooey antenna seal tape, then another layer of electrical tape on top of it. So I don't put the gooey stuff directly on the connector. I always do a layer of electrical tape first. That way, if you want to take it off, it doesn't stick to the connector. It's not a big honking mess.
So this is an interesting point. Curtis found the little Chinese diesel heaters work. They absolutely do. If you buy the well named brand diesel heaters that he's talking about, getting the Chinese knockoffs, they are very expensive. But my buddy's got a it's an old transport bus or whatever that they use to pick up people, at the Walmart and take them down to the next door and take them down wherever. He bought one of those and he turned it into a camper, and he's got one of those, and they work really, really, really good. So
that's what I was talking about, Mike. I couldn't remember the name of it. The self-amalgamating. Amalgamating. Yeah, amalgamating. I can say it. Yeah, just put a layer of electrical tape down first. That way it won't.
I've always just used the black tape, but I'm just an old West Virginia boy and do it the way my dad did it. So
well, it's nice around here because we don't have to worry about too much of any kind of water infiltration and then it freezing or anything like that. Up there, you got to worry more about that. So I imagine if you get a little bit of water inside of your threads and then it freezes and then thaws,
Well, my dad built that dipole that's at my house, and I've often wanted to take it down and check everything on the connections and on everything on it, but the guys who knew my dad in the radio club, they'll tell you my dad was an interesting guy, and he never ceased to amaze you. But that dipole runs over the feed line that goes into the house, and I don't really want to lower that antenna and get it on the feed line. So it's just set up there and it's just worked. Whatever he did a long time ago, it's worked ever since. So I'm good with that. I've got a lot of other antennas that I use, but that thing, hands down, will do anything I want it to.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, you're right. So I use the coax seal. It comes in, it's about maybe a 4-inch strip, and it has a brown backing that you peel off, and it's sticky on one side. That's the stuff I use. So yeah, coax seal is what I use. And yeah, if you don't put a layer of tape down before the coax seal, it's a disaster to get off. You might as well just cut it and put new ends on your coax, to be honest with you. But that's the stuff I've been using, just a layer of electrical tape coax seal, then a layer of electrical tape ever since I was doing repeater antennas back in the 90s for the local club here.
So here comes the question that I'm going to get 50 different answers on, because I've heard both things. A lot of people tell you that your radios does not need to be in extremely cold weather. What do you guys do with your mobiles in extremely cold weather? Do you leave it in the vehicle? Dan, you live in Georgia. Your answer is not going to count because you don't know what extremely cold. 45 degrees is not extremely cold, Dan. I'm sorry.
Now I have had it. I mean, it gets below freezing every now and again, but the only problem I see with it, to answer your question, yes, I would leave it in my vehicle, even if it got down to the teens. The only problem with it, though, when you turn it on, your display might seem like it's slower to refresh because either the LCD technology or whatever technology your display uses is cold. But I have witnessed displays being not messed up permanently by the cold, but sluggish by the cold.
See, I was told that like the nice digital displays and stuff like that in the like my radio did, the DX10 would not work below like 17 degrees.
Oh,
and it did work at 7. But I'm not going to say that I didn't worry about stuff like that. But as
I can tell you what,
Larry left the 891 in the car in January, no issues.
The battery, yeah.
The batteries is a different story,
especially laptop batteries.
Yeah, I know. I still have a dead one.
Yeah.
Qdoba, Kyle. Kyle's taking a poll. Should POTA or Qdoba? I say Qdoba.
Here's the thing that I understand about the LiPo batteries or the lithium iron phosphate or lithium ion, whatever, the lithium batteries. Cold is worse than heat. Okay. You can have the thing hot as hell and do whatever you want with it. You can go ahead and recharge it, discharge it, yada yada yada. Somebody in the chat smarter than I am about lithium batteries and cold. As I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's okay to discharge those things no matter the temperature, but you don't want to charge it when it's extremely cold. That's my understanding anyway.
I don't know. I know that in the cold, they'll discharge themselves just sitting there in the cold. I do know that, and I may have killed mine because of charging, because my charger was probably plugged in.
Larry says 35 in Fahrenheit's the limit. It won't give or take a charge. Now that's not very cold. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's not even freezing, right? And there's not, I mean, it's not like a gel battery. I wonder why it would be. I mean, yeah, that's weird. Now, Kyle says don't charge them when hot. See, I've heard that was never a problem. It's more about charging when cold. Normally, I don't anyway. If they've been sitting in the truck for a while and the batteries are hot, I'll bring them inside, let them sit for a day or so before I charge them back up. All right, so RFing around is used.
Here we go.
LiPo's at -30C before. And that for us here is negative 22 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think. I mean, 35 Fahrenheit sounds like a warm cutoff temperature. I mean, that's not warm, but it's not even freezing.
But he's saying for charge.
Well, it says it won't give a charge or take one.
Well, I know. Like when you're saying give a charge, you mean it won't put out? Because it definitely puts out way lower than that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, Ronnie, look at Ronnie with some specs here. Charge temperature. All right, so front hump, yes. Charge temperature is 32F to 122. Yeah, so don't charge them below freezing or when it's super duper hot. Yeah. I always like to let mine come up to close to room temperature before I charge them anyway. So. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, 122F, that's pretty warm for an internal battery temp. So
yeah, if it's 122 degrees, I'm probably not thinking about charging my battery, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ronnie says that's for a redo 100 amp hour.
Yes, and that's the charge temperature, and I imagine they don't have anything about the discharge because I mean, as far as I know, you can use the battery no matter what temperature. It'll put out power. Maybe not.
James backs that up, even though he's used it at negative 22. And I say negative 22 because I say the real temperature, not that negative 30 C stuff.
In the king's temperature.
Listen, the other day, what was it? I told Terry, I was telling him something, and I told him in
Kelvin.
Oh, I told him in I said something about meters because I was talking about an antenna, and he's like, "Look at you talking meters. You're already Canadian, and you ain't even been there yet."
Ronnie with this. Ronnie, I'm gonna call you our statistician, buddy. All right, discharge temperature of the 100 amp hour Redodo is negative 4 Fahrenheit to 140. And for our friends in places that do not use the imperial system, everywhere else in the world, that's negative 20 to 60. Storage temperature is 14 Fahrenheit to 122, or negative 10 to 50. I store mine anywhere between 65 and 80. So, yeah. Hey, Austin, man, I heard you today hunting, buddy, and I said I haven't heard him in a while, and I'm glad to hear you around.
Well, I do know he got his antenna back up at his QTH because he's hunted me a few times since he has, and he told me about it. So that's a good thing. And Austin, just so you know, you're not real far off a PZN challenge coin, so you might want to up that hunting a little bit more because that coin's coming your way very soon. If you do.
Yeah, whatever antenna you got back up, buddy. You sounded good here in South Georgia earlier today. I want to say it was maybe 4 o'clock ish, maybe. Sounded great.
So, reason I was asking is like I don't even know if there's anybody out there, but I know some people have like outdoor shacks, like their radio room is not in the house. They'll have like a little building out back and stuff like that. And I was curious, so if they ran heaters in there, during the winter, or what they did. Not when they're in there. Of course, they're running them when they're in there, but I'm talking about hey, well, evidently, Kilo 4 Lima India has hit his thousand. I didn't even know that, Michael. So congratulations, Josh.
And not only that, if you
run, he told me he was close.
Yeah, and not only that, to touch on the heater and even air conditioner situation, if you do have a detached shack and you run a separate heater and air conditioner unit, maybe a window unit or what have you, what do you run into any RF problems with that? Does it put out any stray RF, or how does that affect your radio operating?
I'm curious if anybody does have a detached shack, because I have thought about it many a times. I wouldn't mind having a detached shack to where I had way more room
Until
than
you had
what
to
I
walk,
have right now.
until you had to walk through 4 feet of snow to get out there to it.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just talking about like in the backyard. I'm just saying, but I would like to have, because you can get one of those little buildings that people turn them into little houses, and I'd like to have one of those. Like, I don't know, 14 by 10 or something, with a big shack in it, and my studio, because I mean it's.
Yeah, 2.0 does have a detached shack, and I think
I know
K5,
Joe Brett does.
yeah, K5YVY. Yeah, he has one too.
Gray Man POTA, I'm definitely not scared of a little snow.
No,
We all know that I hiked over in 14 inches of snow to activate last year, so I'm not scared of it. And leave it to Terry to be trying to get people to go to parks for him in the chat.
of course,
All right, so let me go look really quick at 1,000. That way I can tell Austin exactly how close he is.
he has 961.
Oh, you look?
No, he just said it in the chat.
Do what?
No, he said it in the chat.
Oh, he said it in the chat. Okay. Well, I tell you, a lot of people have different numbers than POTA have too. So I'll confirm that for you, because I've had people tell me, "Hey, this is my 1,000th," and then they still be like 30 away or something. So
It's a good
we'll
point.
double check you.
See, here's a good point. So people named Dan always have really good points. Dan says, hear me out. One of those small shacks set up in Chief Logan.
If they would let me, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
What did he say he had? 54?
961.
961?
That's what he says.
POTA disagrees with you.
Uh-oh.
POTA says you have 944 with me.
Those pesky stats. Give it 30 days.
But Josh is definitely correct. He did hit 1,000 today.
Well, congratulations.
No,
Kilo
not today. Not
Mandy.
today. Not today, because today's logging in. So yesterday, Josh hit 1,000.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the 1K. Mine does. Okay, so it's interesting. Sometimes my hunter log disagrees with the metric on the donuts and the bar graphs too, but you're be sleeping in a milk crate somewhere along Charlie Alpha 0508 too.
I'm hoping Canadian milk crates are bigger than U.S. milk crates.
But yes, fall is coming, and it is time to get your shack into order and enjoy the good weather that's coming, so you don't have to get out there and blister underneath the sun trying to get your projects done. I can't wait. Good time to do a mobile radio install, so when the sun's not beating down on you, you can enjoy the weather and relax while you're doing it, and rather than trying to rush through it and get it done fast so you can get back in the air conditioner.
Yeah, it's not a big change in gear and stuff like that for me. The important thing is I have to start thinking about, just because it's warm when I leave the house doesn't mean I'm going to come back and it be warm. So the important here lately, I've been caught out a couple of times, and it'd be 90 degrees in the day, and I'm doing that late shift, and I'm shivering because I forgot to bring a coat. So it's that time of the year, and which the good thing about that time of the year also means the leaves are starting to fall in West Virginia, And that means that 20 meters start to work better. Once them leaves start to fall out of the way, I can go through the trees instead of over, and I can get a little better 20-meter propagation. So
Yeah, I look for a good fall. I think the lower bands are going to start opening up more and more and more. 40 is probably going to go earlier now.
But heck, who knows? Canada might have great 40-meter propagation in October, and I just stay on 40 meters, killing it.
There you go.
I know 80 meters still ain't where I want it to be yet. It's still in that really bad staticky stage. So
it was okay-ish last night, but it's not, like you said, it's not quite where I want it to be yet. So.
Mike says I'm not messing with anything till after the PZN challenge. Oh, well, the PZN challenge, the challenge that breaks everyone.
Next year's PZN challenge is going to be on a 160-meter FT8.
Besides Terry has been unbroken.
Yeah.
$10. Michael says more 80 meters. Hey, yeah, I don't have a problem going there. You just got to hunt me. So, the other Sunday night, I went out and I did. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Sunday night I went out and I did 40-meter sideband. Then I went and did 60-meter sideband. And since I was tuned on 60, I go to 60-meter CW right after. Then I went to 80-meter sideband, then 80-meter CW, then 40-meter CW. And, there was a lot of contacts because you had the early shift first on 40 meters. So there was one. Then you had the sideband 40, the sideband 60, the CW 60, sideband 80, CW 80, CW 40. So you had the possibility of 7 contacts on one activation. So
if you start doing more 80 meters, I will definitely blow you up on 80 meters. That's one of my favorite bands to work.
It's still just a little staticky.
It is.
I mean, I don't mind going there. That's an Eagle One activation. That's only a nighttime activation, pretty much. Because the only thing I'm doing 80 meters on is the Eagle One.
Why don't you just do it at 2:30 in the afternoon?
Hey, I used to do them early morning too.
Yeah, you did.
Well, during the winter, a lot of my 7:30, 8 o'clock activations were 80 meters.
Yep.
And still killed it. So you got to think about that winter time too. Having an 80-meter antenna gets you more contacts for POTA, especially with me. The 60-meter, there's few and far between that go to 60. But, I go there. 60 meters is my go-to in the winter. I prefer 60 over anywhere because it just works. It's kind of that it works as good as 80 in the winter, but it's still giving me that 40-meter kick. So it's like 30 meters on CW. You just can't beat it.
I think 80 is going to fall in line about perfectly with the Autumn Support Your Parks event, which I believe is October 19th and 20th, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a good time getting to the end of October. I think 80 will start to liven up a lot. So
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Canada and I'm going to fix his Eagle One for him. Matter of fact, I'm trying not to take a bunch of radio equipment, but I'm going to take my little tuner, because with my little tuner, I know I'm going to tune 80 meters just fine. Because 80 meters, here's the thing with Eagle One. People will argue you left and right. That antenna cannot be tuned on 80 meters. Blah, 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 blah.
I do it all the time.
Like, cool, okay. And I show up and I tune their Eagle One on 80 meters and it works just fine. I've tuned it on 160, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
It's not supposed to do 160. No. Matter of fact, Curtis has a park to park with me on 160 on the Eagle One.
Yeah, I was right. Yep, October 19th and 20th. Awesome. But yeah, I tune 80 meters on the Eagle One all the time. Yeah. I can't do all right with an auto tuner. I can't hit 160 unless I add wire to the top of it. With a manual tuner, I could probably get it down reasonably enough where my internal tuner on the radio would touch it up.
That's one of those things that tell you sometimes the old timers knew what they were doing more than these new timer guys. Everybody thinks easy, use the easy way. But you know what? That old school manual tuner, it'll tune anything.
Yeah,
I've really thought about taking it out and just tuning the fence in the backyard one day.
You probably could. Yeah.
Because, I mean, it'll just tune anything. There will be shenanigans on October 19th and the 20th. I'm sure there will be. Oh. Listen, I better not come back from Canada pregnant, James. That's all I'm saying.
Have a little baby Dr. Pepper with you.
I'll have a litter of Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
Oh.
What do you call a bunch of Dr. Peppers? Is it a litter, or is it a murder, or is it a flock?
Dude, you know what? I can't wait to go to a restaurant in Canada and say, I have a Dr. Pepper, eh?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh. It's great.
Yeah,
we're something never seen in POTA before that weekend.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yes, a peck of Dr. Peppers. But how much Dr. Pepper could Dr. Pepper peck if Dr. Pepper could peck a Dr. Pepper? That's what I want to know.
You totally messed it up.
I did.
That probably just hit a short right there.
Let me try this again. How much Dr. Pepper could Dr. Pepper peck if Dr. Pepper could peck a Dr. Pepper? We'll splice that one and make a short out of it.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, we're coming up on the top of the hour. We didn't talk a whole lot about fall and winter preparations, but we had fun doing it anyway. And if you guys have any questions or anything, you know, you can always jump in Discord and ask any kind of question, because, you know, I have yet to see somebody jump on somebody for asking a stupid question in Discord. I mean, Terry asks questions all the time. We all know Terry asks stupid questions, you know. But I'm giving Terry a hard time because he was definitely being a bit earlier, and in the after chat, I'm gonna give him more hard time about that. But speaking of after chat, we are going over there right now, and we're gonna hang out for a little bit. And it is a Patreon benefit, but you can do like James did and sign up for a free trial, and then message myself or Dan, and we'll give you the rights to come in the room and hang out with us and do all the cool stuff that we do in there. It's pretty down low for the first hour. If you stay past the first hour, I'm sorry for you. That's all I can say, because it gets a little rowdy in there. The guys drink too much Dr. Pepper, and it gets going.
That's true.
Anyway, thanks everybody for the super chats, and tomorrow I will have a video drop, even though I filmed one today that I was going to drop tomorrow, and it's already decided it isn't going to happen. So I don't know what I'm dropping tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. And a video drop Friday. Catch y'all on the air tomorrow, and 73.
You'll get a peck of Dr. Peppers.